How's life with Marlene? And welcome to Thrive Thursday. I hope you guys are doing awesome, awesome, awesome. Hello to the Gems family, those who are old and those who are new. Thank you so much for your support. How is your Thursday going? It's another day, another blessing, another gift, however you choose to look at it. But for me, I choose to look at every new day as a blessing, and I'm really grateful. Today on Thrive Thursday, we're going to be talking about some things that we can look at, how we can elevate it, how we can grow it, how we can make it better. And today's Thrive Thursday, I'm going to focus on thriving when it comes to communicating boundaries. And I think that's a very important thing to thrive in. We need to learn how to communicate effectively, and especially we need to communicate how we're feeling, what we're going through. And being very careful when we talk about thriving is maintaining our mental health. We can't thrive if this is checked out. We can't have peace if this is not in the good space. We can't thrive if our heart is broken and we're struggling in some type of way. So today we're going to be focusing on how we can thrive and be happy and be our best. And yeah, I think that that's something very important, is we all need to focus on our personal thriving, our personal growth, our personal peace and happiness. And a lot of times we can't have that peace and joy and personal growth because we are not communicating how we feel. We are not standing up for ourselves and advocating. And I can only speak for myself, but it's taken me a really long time in my life to be in a space to feel like um, I can grow. I can do better, that I don't have to be like I used to be. And I've said it a million times and I'll keep saying it, that we each have to give ourselves the permission to be great. And I love that for me, and I love that for you guys too. Have you all given yourself the permission to be great? You should. Every single day I wake up, that's the first thing that I say out of my mouth. I give myself the permission to make today great, because I can't do anything about yesterday. I can only work on today. And learning to be present, I think that that's a very important thing. Learning to be present in the moment, in the day. It's Thrive Thursday, and I want this to be the thought that you have. How can I be at peace today? What can I do to raise my peace? What can I do to maintain good mental health? Because that's important. That's very important, to maintain good mental health. And we can't let the outside, we can't let social media, friends, family, other people affect our mental health that way. Remember, we're in control of our power. You're in control of you. And I know that people can be irritating because it happens to me all the time, where there's a lot of annoying people, but we can't let other people get to us. Hi, JJK man, how are you doing? Welcome. We can't let other people get to us. And I know that's easier said than done, because when we have our relatives, for instance, hi Angie, when we have our relatives, for instance, that is one of the main people that really gets to us. You would think sometimes that relatives should know what gets on our nerves, what irritates us, but I think a lot of times relatives take us for granted. Um, it's Alvia. Okay, hi Alvia. We have to be very careful of how we allow people to treat us. And that is one of the things that I don't know what's going on. Hi Wellness, how are you doing? And that's one of the things that I always constantly keep in the forefront of my mind, that I'm in control of me. I'm in control of my power. I'm in control of my mental health. I'm in control of my peace. And that's one of the best things that has ever happened to me, is not allowing the outside, not allowing social media, not allowing relatives, not allowing a spouse, significant other, not allowing any other outside influence to be in control of my ability to thrive. And on today, on a Thrive Thursday, I want that to be your thoughts. You're doing well, just working. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you. That's one of the things that I strive on a day-to-day basis, okay? On a day-to-day basis, I have to just focus on today and making my today the best that I can. I'm not in control of other people. Yes, people can be irritating. People can be toxic and users and manipulators, but we can't do anything about them. To be able to thrive in our personal life, we have to focus on what we personally can do. See, and that is something that before I used to I used to let it overwhelm me. I used to let the people who weren't showing up for me, weren't supporting me, weren't kind to me, weren't respectful. I wouldn't say argue, but I always felt like I had to get them on my side. I had to try to get them to understand me. And we can't get people to understand us. Either people want to understand us or they don't. And that is a part of thriving. We have to understand the people who are really there for us and the people who are just pretending. That is part of being mature as a woman or as a man, is being mature enough to know who is really there for us and who isn't. And it takes time because you have to do some evaluations. How is that person's energy? How is my energy? How is my peace? How is their peace? And when you notice that you're around certain individuals and every time they leave, all you want to do is sleep because they're draining, or they give you a headache, or they stress you out, that is an individual or a group of individuals that you need to stay away from, because we can't thrive in this life having toxic people, having drama people, controlling people, and manipulative people in our life. We're in control of that part. And when I really learned that, like, I can't make another person happy, that's not my job. The only person that I am in control of me. Yeah. And I was so happy when I finally, like, it's a lot of things that we know, but we may not believe it. I know that I couldn't control other people, but I was still trying to get people to my side to understand and to support and to love me and to friend me. And we can't force any relationship. Hey, real odds and evens, how are you doing? Welcome. And we can't force people to be our friends. We can't force people to be there for us. We can't force anybody to care. See, the people who really care, they're going to. You know, you don't have to keep saying, hey, can you do this for me? Hey, can you do that? Can you support? I always have said we have to really be careful. We have to be very cognizant of the individuals that come into our life, and do we allow them to stay there? Yes, good to see you too, real odds and evens. So that's something that I wanted to encourage everybody. I know that it's not easy, especially when it comes to friends, relatives. Notice I said relatives and not family, because family are the people who pour into you. Family are the people that support you, encourage you, motivate you, and are there for you, not just in good times, because I believe that it's easy to be there for people in the good times, when it's a party, when it's a celebration, when things are good. But what about the ones that are there for you in your time of need? in your time of discouragement, in your time of self-doubt, that right there, that's your family. It's the ones you don't have to tell them that you know that they're needed. They just show up for you. They just will text you right at the moment that you need. And that is what helps you to thrive in this life. And when I learned that secret, that I have to let go of the people who do not pour into me, I have to let go of the people who are always downing me, like, that won't work, or that's stupid, or I don't like that. I tried that and it didn't work for me. Everybody is different. Everybody has different personalities, different drive. Everybody is not going to be as consistent and motivated and as personable maybe as you are. So of course, like two people doing the same thing, it's not going to have the same outcome, because maybe they tried it and they gave up easily, and you tried it and you stayed consistent. Or you did your research and you really found out how to make something work, and they didn't do their research, they just jumped right in. So of course the experience is going to be different. And don't let anybody tell you that something can't work, especially if you have a natural draw, natural magnetism towards doing something. You're passionate about it, you're talented with it. You go for what is yours. And that is the message today for the Thriving Thursday. I want you guys to think about what you can do, and don't worry about who believes you can do it. Because that is something that I really had to learn that and take it in. And I had to encourage myself with it. I had to encourage myself and tell myself that it's not about if they accept it, if they like it. The question you need to be asking yourself is, do you like it? Are you on board? Is this your purpose? What is your mission? See, a lot of people, they don't have a on fire why like you do. Is your desire to help other people, to support other people, and in the process make yourself feel good? See, for me, my life work is to help others. And every time I open my live, every time I do a coaching session, every time I do some other jobs that I do, because I do multiple types of jobs, but all of them is to help other people. And I know that I thrive when I help another person. It could be as simple as a smile. It could be as simple as telling somebody they look nice, or to not give up. We can pour into people, not always financially, even though sometimes if you have the ability to do that and support another person, then by all means you should. But there's a lot of ways. There's a lot of ways that we can empower another person. A smile can empower somebody. You never know what somebody else is going through. You may be the only person they see that day. What if that person lives alone? Or what if that person, they live with other people who are very toxic, and you're the only person that they're going to encounter that will be positive and empowering? You have to think about those things. I always try my best, and when I show up in this world, I show up with my head held high, and I can give somebody a smile. Tell somebody to not give up, to be encouraged. And it's not always because I feel encouraged or I feel empowered, but even if I'm not in that space, I want another person to do better than me. And I know that not a lot of people are on that wavelength, but that's where I am. We all have those days where we're just not in a good mood, kind of cranky, crabby. You're going through your own stuff, handling your things. Maybe you're physically tired, emotionally, mentally tired. And of course, sometimes you can be a little blunt, a little rough around the edges. But I always say those are the times where I pull back and I work on myself. And I figure out why I am this way. I don't like to take out my issues on other people. I don't think it's right and it's not fair. Just because you're going through something, acting constipated, you acting constipated and you taking it out on other people. Like, don't do that. we're mature people, or we should be mature people. And I forget that sometimes, that I know that you should be dealing with adults, but just because somebody has reached 18, 21 years old, that doesn't mean that they have matured. It doesn't mean that they've grown into themselves. It doesn't mean they value themselves, love themselves, friend themselves, respect themselves. All of those things are necessary to be able to uplift and to empower another person. Mm-hmm. Real odds and even says facts, that part. Um, and you're doing your part. Yes. That's all we can do in this life. You do the best that you can, you know. I want to say that to everybody, ladies and gentlemen, because I don't discriminate over here. I'm not going to come over here and say, oh, it's all men don't do nothing, or vice versa, women don't do. No, I'm just speaking for myself. We all know ourselves. We know our situation. We know where we need to grow. We know where we need to heal. And it's just a matter of putting in the work. Anybody can do better. Anybody can have peace. Anybody can heal their heart. Anybody can grow and make changes. I'm proof of that. Every day I wake up, I'm proof of change. I'm proof of personal growth, empowerment, and maturity, because it wasn't that long ago. It wasn't even 10 years ago since I've been the person that I am today. It hasn't even been 10 years. I feel like I'm still a newborn when it comes to motivation. But every day I strive to maintain that. Some days I do better than others because I'm human. I'm not a robot. I have my moods. I go through stuff. I feel sad sometimes. Sometimes I don't even want to come on social media because I'm like, please, nobody's even listening to me. Who even cares? Who even needs to hear that? Because we get in our own head, or we allow other people that say things or challenge us to get inside. But that's when I have to remind myself, no. You've come too far. So I say that to you all too on this Thrive Thursday. Don't let other people get inside of your head and cause you to doubt yourself. You don't doubt yourself, and don't let other people drop seeds of doubt into your mind, because it's hard to remove that doubt when it's been inserted. Don't let these people who are low vibrational, immature, jealous, miserable, to make you feel the same way. We don't deserve that. You don't deserve it. I know I love to be happy. Some days I'm happier than others. That's the real talk. I'm not always positive. I'm not always happy. Sometimes I can be very crabby, very sad. I go through my stuff, but at the end of the day, I strive to be able to give off positive energy. And if I'm not in that space, I'm not going to come on here and bash another person because they're in that space. I like to be able to always be a source of encouragement. That was my mission when I started working on myself. And I said, you know what? Even though you went through some messed up stuff, even though people hurt you, you don't have to be hurt. I think that a lot of people, they label themselves. My life is terrible. It was awful. I'm miserable. I'm angry. But you can change all of those things. See, I didn't know that before, because I'm not going to lie to y'all. I was walking around here angry, mad, jealous, immature, controlling, all of it, and I can own that because I'm grown. I've matured and I've healed, and I can tell you guys that it's not easy. It's not easy to grow up. It's not easy to stop blaming other people, but it's possible. See, before you have to stop looking at other people and what they're doing, and start looking at yourself and say, but what am I doing? What am I doing? Okay? Not what this person and that person is doing, but what are you doing to make your life great? And I think that that's something wonderful to talk about on this Thrive Thursday. What are you personally doing as a woman or as a man to make your life great? I'm not talking about who's around you. I'm not talking about what other people said. I'm not talking about what you did. It's right now, today, in this moment. What are you personally doing to make your life great? What are you doing to have peace in your life? What are you personally doing to be able to feel okay in your skin? And I think that that's something like every single day I have to do something to be able to pour into myself. I have to do something that fills up my cup. And what works for me is not going to work for you. And that's cool. Yeah. Yeah, real odds and evens. That's what I do over here on this channel on Thursdays. I like to do Thriving Thursday. What can we do to thrive today? You know? And it's gonna look different for everybody. Today, I'm just working on just keeping my mind set positive and not having a complaining spirit. To me, that's my only job today, because it's a lot of things that I could complain about today, but I choose not to, because I try to focus my mind on what I do have and not what I don't. And that takes work. It takes work. It takes time to be able to be in that space of not being a complainer, but looking at what you do have. I'm not going to look at this isn't going right and that isn't going right. I'm going to focus on what is going right and what do I have and what should I be grateful for. I'm alive. I'm breathing. I'm able to encourage somebody. And I have a roof over my head. I have to eat. I'm not a rich person, but I'm rich with love, because there's a lot of people who have this kind of riches, but they don't have the riches of feeling fulfilled in their soul. They don't love their mind, body, and spirit. They don't have a positive self awareness. They don't have any love for themselves. They have no self-respect. They don't respect themselves. They always talk down to themselves. But that is a learned thing. Just like you learn bad things, you can also unlearn the bad things and replace them with good things. And I'm grateful. I really, really am. I'm grateful for personal growth. I'm grateful for maturity. When you're going through those things in your life, it doesn't feel like it's a good thing. It doesn't feel like a good thing when you have to say, I got an attitude, I got an anger problem, or I said something that I shouldn't have. But those things, when I check it and say, Marlene, watch your mouth. Everything that you want to say is not something that you should say. I these days, I always try my best to say, how would I feel if somebody said that to me? And it makes you slow down. Makes you zip your mouth, mind your own business. Everybody has their own issues. Yeah, right. Real odds and evens. Yes, 100% wellness. So I'm just doing me and working on myself. I've said it many times. I'm not perfect. I got a lot of work to do, but at the same time, I like myself now. And that's something that feels so good. I don't know about you guys, but I think it's one of the most wonderful things in this life to like yourself first. Be your own friend. And I feel like that's the reason why I can thrive in my business. I can thrive in my other relationships, because I like myself. And a lot of people don't like themselves. They only like themselves if other people around them like them. Like if they have friends, if they have money, if they're in a romantic relationship, then they like themselves. But when they don't have those things, now they're angry. Now they're miserable. Now they're talking about other people. And I can only speak about that because I came from that. Anytime things were going good with friends, then I was able to be okay with me. Hi, Miss Patty. How are you doing? Welcome. It wasn't until I learned how to be okay with me before I could be okay with other people. And a lot of people don't understand that concept. Until you feel happy inside, until you heal your emotional wounds, until you say, I can do some great things, you're not going to be able to be happy for somebody else. You're not going to be able to encourage another person. And I never understood that. There's a lot of things that happen from your past, being told things, and you bring that generational brokenness from how your parents or whoever raised you into who you are as an adult, and then that is how you act with spouse, significant other. That's how you act with siblings. That's how you may act with your children and friends and everybody that you encounter. And I know for me, I didn't want to be like how the previous, though, what you call it, the old school, the old-fashioned things. I don't want to talk about it, and this is who I am. I didn't want to be that way, because that's toxic. That's being very immature. I wanted to be better, and I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for the person that I was, because if I wasn't that way, I wouldn't know how to speak about, yeah, you can have an attitude, but you can also change that. Yeah, you can experience traumas, but it doesn't mean you got to be angry at everybody you encounter. You got to work on that on your inside. Situations happen to everybody, but you got to find a way to cope with it. And for me to be able to thrive in my day-to-day life, I give a space, I give a voice to it. I speak it out loud. Oh, today I'm really messed up. I'm really sad. I miss this person and this person, or I'm going through that. It's important to speak that out loud in order for you to thrive, and not channel that negative energy, that miserable energy on another person. It's okay. It's okay for you to feel that way. We're human beings. We have feelings, okay? But what's not okay is to hurt other people. What's not okay is to bring other people down. What's not okay is to be very toxic. That's not okay. There are many people who think that it's okay to talk to people any way they want to be rude, and feel like you have to keep taking it. I was that way, because that is just how it was growing up. It's like, and people just say, oh, I know I'm hard to deal with. Well, if you know that, then why don't you make some changes? And I can say in the beginning, like when people would say, you need to grow up and you need to do this, I just like, whatever, this is who I am. But that's not okay. But that's not okay, though. If you're rude, why are you rude to other people? Those are the questions that I had to ask myself. I was rude because I was angry. And then you have to keep going underneath it. But why am I angry? I'm angry because I was abandoned. I'm angry because this person did this to me, and this person did this to me, and this person did this to me, and it wasn't right. But when I started to heal that, give voice to it. Hi, Pete. How are you doing? When you start giving voice to your pain, it doesn't control you. Now you're empowered. Say, yeah, that happened to me. Yeah, that was messed up. But today, I have friends. Today, I have peace. Today, I have given it away. And I'm a woman of faith. I'm not on here to tell anybody what to feel, what to think. But I'm a woman of faith. And when I started to lean on my faith, we forget sometimes about our faith. We forget about how we have learned and grown, and we didn't do it alone. And when I started to go back to that and remember you're not alone. Remember you have hope. Remember you're taken care of. Okay? And just like you got through that, you can get through this. That is what always helps me to maintain and to thrive and to have joy and to have peace, when I know that I'm not alone. And because that covers me and carries me through every single day, sometimes moment to moment, that's how I can be strong. Because people have said, oh, Marlene, you're so strong. Really? I I don't feel like I'm strong. I feel like I'm empowered. There's a big difference. You can be strong in carrying things, but you should be empowered so that you can release it. For me, that helps me to thrive. Yeah, you can hold a lot of things inside, but it takes an empowered person to say, I don't got to hold this. I can give this away to this. I can give this away to this. I can give back. I can encourage somebody. I can be a role model. I can be a good example. I can be happy. I can break generational curses. See, I'm grateful for that part in my life right now, that I'm breaking generational curses, that I didn't grow up having people around me that communicated like, I'm feeling sad today, and talk about why I'm feeling sad. It was just like, oh, we don't talk about those things. Like, I don't know. It was just weird. Hi, Ruthie. How are you doing? Welcome. Ruthie says hi to everybody. Real Eye says not strong but highly empowered. I like that. Yes, I learned that was I can't even own that, real odds and evens. I learned that in therapy. There's a difference in carrying things, carrying a weight. Yeah, that can make you strong because you've been carrying it, and that's good. But how about elevating above that? How about empowering yourself and saying, I don't have to be angry. I don't have to be miserable. I don't have to be controlled. I don't have to stay around these toxic people. I can release them. I can block people because it's my life. Remember that, everybody. It's your life, and you don't have to do anything that you don't want to do. Just like you don't have to keep doing the things that you've always done. At some point, we should be maturing. We should be growing. We should be shifting our mindset, empowering ourselves. Yeah, maybe when you were younger, 18, 21, maybe 30, 35, but when is the time when you're going to say, you know what? It's not good that I keep hurting people. It's not good that I can't complete tasks. It's not good that, I'm rude. You just got to own it. You have to own it instead of always saying, oh, whatever, I don't care. You should care. When people say, I don't care, this is who I am, that's not something to be proud of. Hi, Lara. How are you doing? Yes, Ruthie, it is facts. See what I missed here. Yeah, so that's one of the things that I had to learn, is to not just be strong, but to be empowered. And there's a lot of things that we can empower. We can empower our mind, and we don't have to take things, like when people are rude to you, do you keep allowing it? Do you? Only you can answer that. I know for me, I used to take it because I felt like I had to. Like, that's my relative, right? It doesn't make it right. Just because they're your relative, it doesn't mean that you should be a doormat to be run over, used, and abused. No. I was like, you have to start checking them and setting those boundaries. Don't call me this late. No, every time you're not going to get money from me. No, I'm not going to do this for you and that for you. See, we can't complain about what people do and be upset and angry. Okay? You can't be upset and angry about what other people are doing, but then you keep allowing it. It's like, that don't make no sense. You have to really think about what you're doing. Oh, you have a fever, Lara? I hope you feel better. Feel better soon, okay? Real Odds and Evens says, you're on fire. And Evens. Yeah, but that's one of the things that I had to learn, that we don't have to be like, you don't have to be like your mom, your dad, your cousin, your grandparents. You don't have to be like the people who raised you. You don't have to even be like people who are in your own environment. You can want better for yourself. You can want to be healthier and happier. You know, even some things like when I started to take care of myself, like the people around me were like making fun. You're exercising, what are you trying to do? Lose weight? Yeah. And they think it's funny. You know, when you start to improve and elevate, people will mock you. I'm telling you, if it hasn't happened to you yet, it's gonna happen. When you start to shift your life, empower yourself, feel better, look better, and start doing better this way, oh yeah, you're gonna find out who really are the people who are jealous of you, who hate you, and all of those things. You can think people like you all you want to, as long as you keep doing what they want you to do. When you start shifting, empowering your mind, being confident, doing your life's work without their, you know, whatever, like telling them what you're gonna do. Like when you start walking in silence and minding your business, wow. When you start, I'm telling you, it happened to me. When you start minding your business and not looking to the left or the right and what other people are thinking about me, I'm just gonna do me. You're gonna find out, you're gonna identify the fake people are gonna start dropping off. And then you're gonna start hearing, oh, she thinks she's all that. Oh, oh, she thinks she's going to have all these channels, and they're gonna, and it's just like, and you're not even saying anything like that. You know, the shade will come out, the jealousy, the bitterness, the anger, the drama, you know. It's for no reason. It doesn't make any sense for people to be that way, but you can't make people treat you right. You can't make people like you, much less you can't make people love you. If they don't like you, they're definitely not going to love you. I thank you so much to my therapist for that, because that fulfills my soul. If somebody does not like you, how are they going to love you? Real talk right there. Okay, if somebody hasn't been your friend already, how are they going to love you? Same applies to romantic relationships. If they're not a friend to you, they're definitely not going to be loving you, because the friendship has to come first. The trust has to come first. The respect has to be there. And if it's not there, all it's going to do is bring you down, 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 down. They're just going to be beating you down, beating down your self-esteem, beating down your mental health, causing you to have so much physical ailments, like all kinds of health problems. I could write a book, you guys, on the things that relatives will do to you. And if you don't check it, they'll have you in a casket. If you don't check your relatives or alleged friends, if you don't check it, they're going to have you unalived. They're going to have you 6 feet under the ground. If you let them, you got to stop it. You got to cut those people off. Okay, Lara, congratulations. Hi, Ruthie. Miss Patty says, no, you don't have to be like your family. Be yourself. And that's the truth, Miss Patty. At the end of the day, all we can ever be is ourselves, you know? And I can say for me on this Thriving Thursday that for the first time in my life, it's just in the past maybe 5 or 6 years that I am able to look at myself in the mirror and say, I really like myself. It's like, you're pretty cool, Marlene. You're a good friend. You're a good person. You're a good human being. And I could never say that before. For me, before, my thriving only happened when I was accepted and when I was supported. But when I wasn't, that affected my mental health. I had to learn a separation. While I care for people and I want their support, I want their friendship, I want them to be there for me, but I don't expect it anymore. The only thing I expect is for me to be great. The only thing I expect is for me to handle my business. Okay? If they want to be on board, it's cool. If you don't, it's cool too. I'm good either way. I had to learn how to be good on my own. And when you learn how to be good on your own, you can handle anything. You can handle anything. So, yeah, that's really what I want the conversation to be about today is that you can thrive if you want to keep your head up, whatever it is that you're going through today. And I know everybody has something going on. And whoever says they don't, they're lying. Everybody got something going on financially, emotionally, mentally, got something going on. Whatever is going on in your world, you just be patient with yourself. Do the best that you can, okay? Take care of yourself, mind, body, and spirit. It's important. You know, to thrive in this life, you have to think about yourself. You have to think about what you need and applying some compassion to yourself. Mm-hmm. See, a lot of times we'll put so much compassion, we'll be so compassionate and be so helpful to other people and be so supportive and there for everybody. But the most important person, you, are you there for yourself? There was many many times where I wasn't there for myself because I didn't know. I didn't know how to. I didn't know who I was. I didn't think I deserved it. I didn't even know anything about, having a personal relationship with yourself, learning how to be your own friend, learning how to respect yourself. But you should, everybody. You should respect yourself. You should be your own friend. You should spend time. It's called solo time, you know. That's a part of personal care. Keeping your cup filled up. And you can't fill up your cup when it's all of this noise, all these people in your head telling you what they want from you. You got to have some time aside for yourself, even if it's just a few minutes. It doesn't have to be hours of time. For me, I fill up my cup every morning. I wake up and I sit down and I read some positive material. I'm a woman of faith. I pray and I get my day started. And I go in the bathroom. I get myself together. And right when I'm, getting myself, putting on my lotion and stuff, I speak affirmations. I have self-talk, positive self-talk where I speak over my life every morning while I'm getting ready. And I tell myself, you are a bright light. There's nothing that you can't do. You are empowered. You are worthy and capable. Today, you are going to be your best. Yes, you are. And people, I can't make other people happy. All I can do is focus on is when you do your best, you don't have to worry about anything. It's not doing the best that maybe a spouse, significant other, or your kids, or this person or that person in your life, what they want you to do. No, it's about what you can do. What you can do, ladies and gentlemen. What you can do, gems. Okay? That's what it's about. What can you do? And making sure you're taking care of yourself and not, pushing yourself to the back burner. I see all the time, ladies and gentlemen, that they're always the strong person, right? You're there, you're advocating for this person, you do this for this and this and this and this person, and you're last on the list if you even make the list. Because I'm guilty of that, doing things for everybody and forgetting about myself, always putting myself last. That's not good for you. It's not good for your physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual health. You got to take care of yourself. You got to pour into yourself, because if you're not at 100%, if your cup is not full, what are you going to have to do? You're going to have to take from somebody else's cup. And that's where the confusion, the anger, happens when you're expecting for people to give to you so that you can be fulfilled. See, but when you're already fulfilled, when you show up and you're already whole, full, you're already fully charged and on 100%. So anything that another person gives to you, it's abundance. You can always overflow. But when you don't take time to pull back so that you can reset, recharge, and empower yourself, of course, you're going to be snapping. Your mental health won't be in a good space. You can't thrive. You can't think about what you want and your goals because you're distracted. And I'll tell you guys that there's a lot in this life that can cause us to be distracted. A lot. to cause us to be distracted, but we can't let people distract us. And that's why I always said that you got to have a notebook. Either it's a notebook, it's on your phone, it's something that you read on a regular basis, but you have to keep empowering yourself. You have to keep having that positive self-talk. Keep encouraging yourself. And I've said this a million times, you got to be your own cheerleader. You got to be clapping for yourself. I say it all the time, that there's nobody that's going to say you're doing a good job like you can. I have my times throughout the day when I know, and I'm like, you guys know when there's sometimes when you want to say something and you didn't, you be like, ooh, it's like I know. It's like I know you went to slap them, kick them, beat them down. I know. I say, girl, you have grown. And that's when I give my own self a high five. That's personal growth. I was like, yes. Yes. I was like, girl, you grew today. Woo. Because I said you wanted to beat them down, but you didn't. You wanted to cuss them out, and you didn't. Okay? You wanted to tell them something, and that's when I know I've grown. Because before, hey, people don't understand about who you were and how you used to be for the streets. That's a conversation for another day. But I'm just saying, people don't know about how you could be. And just because you're a nice and a kind person, it doesn't mean you always want to be. I don't always want to turn the other cheek. I want for people to treat me right all the time. But you also have to know, to thrive, there's some people that they don't know anything about boundaries. They know nothing about boundaries. They're going to run over you. They're going to be disrespectful until you say, nope, not over here. And if you can block them, you block them. If you can remove yourself from them, you remove yourself from them. Don't let people disrespect you. Like people like to do what is it called? Something compliment. Backhanded compliment. Like they'll say something nice and rude at the same time and be laughing. It's not funny. Don't let people disrespect you. Ruthie says, I'm learning to cheer for myself now, Marlene. Yay, Ruthie. I'm so proud of you. Awesome. That's when I learned that part right there, cheering for myself. And other people will think you're crazy. Let them think whatever they want to. You're the one that lives in your skin. You're the one that walks in your shoes. People don't know what you have to go through on a regular basis. And people don't know when he's like, when you high five yourself and they give you a look, because the old me would have just slapped you right across your face. Okay. I would have karate chopped you right in the throat box. The old me. But the new me, the healed me, the reformed me, woo, the spiritual me, I don't know, says no, we're gonna step back, we're gonna walk away, we're gonna zip our mouth. It's not, people think when you're a positive person, that means that you don't know how to cuss people out. It doesn't, no. I definitely know how to cuss people out. I definitely know how to defend myself. I know how to do a lot of things, but I choose not to, because I value myself, because I respect myself, because I'm mature. And I'm not going to go back and forth with people. If somebody cannot see my value, you can go. If somebody doesn't know how to respect me, you can go, okay? And that's all there is to it. There is no going back and forth. I don't do going back and forth before like I used to when I was younger. I don't do going back and forth. If you don't agree with something, that's cool. You can have your own opinion as long as there's no disrespect. That's the only thing I don't do disrespect in my chats, you know? Hi, Misty. How are you doing? Misty says, why waste your energy with foolishness? Yes, why? You shouldn't. Yes, real talk, Roz. Right. You're laughing? No, I'm serious. There's a lot of times where I feel like I want to say something like, and then I pause, and then I'll high five myself. Like, ooh, yeah. It's like, ooh, you just want, just karate chop them right to the throat box. Ah, just want to karate kick them. I know. Or when you just clench your teeth, because you want to say something that you shouldn't say, but it's not worth it. There's a lot of people who are just not worth it. They're just not worth it. Don't waste your energy. Don't waste your time. Okay? Going back and forth with somebody who's immature, they're not going to get it because they don't want to get it, because they don't care, because they're selfish for many reasons. So that's one of the things that has been helping me to thrive and to be happy as a woman these days, is not wasting my energy. Not wasting my energy, and especially not staying places where I know I'm not welcomed. And because the energy is off, right? Every time you're around them, the energy is off. Very, very off, right? So you just leave them alone. Just leave them alone. When their energy is off, you can't make that energy shift to be peaceful and supportive and loving. If it's not there, it's just not there. You just have to leave them alone. Yeah. Yes, Misty. Some people just want a reaction from you. Bingo. Some people just want to argue with you because they're miserable. Some people want to make you unhappy. And that's one of my favorite things. When somebody wants to start an argue, I said, I see you want to argue, so have a great day. Always leave with your head up. Don't let people take you down. Don't let people step on you, run on you, okay? Don't let people use and abuse you. No, and it doesn't matter who they are. It doesn't matter the label. I don't care if it's sister, auntie, mama, cousin, best friend, husband, wife. I don't care who you are. You're not going to come over here and disrespect me, period. But that has to come from inside first. You got to love yourself. You got to be your own friend. I don't allow people to run over me anymore. And people will think, oh, you don't talk to me anymore. And I said it to somebody just one day because I was feeling cheeky. You should think about why. And that's all I said. You should think about why. If you really get, how do I act in real time? How do I treat this person? And there goes your answer. And one of the things that I learned from going to therapy is that if you don't separate yourself from people, if you keep allowing people to run over you, disrespect you, you keep doing things for them, enabling them, you're just as to blame as they are. They're doing wrong, but you keep allowing it. That's not good. And we think sometimes we're doing something good, but because we keep doing things for people, no, you're enabling them. You're stopping their personal growth. And when I really started thinking about that I am enabling their bad behavior, I was like, yeah, I got to stop. We think sometimes that we're helping relatives or friends or this person or that person, but we're not. You're not helping them, you're hurting them. Yes, right, Misty? It's true. Miss Patty says, yes, peace and personal growth. There's nothing like it, right? I love that for this this Thursday to talk about this and to be a source of encouragement. See, what I learned is when I became encouraged, when I became empowered, I was able to give encouragement and empowerment to others. But if you're in a space of sadness and darkness and you're just not feeling it, how can you be able to be okay. You can't thrive when you're low. You can't thrive when you're being used and abused. You have to get away from those spaces. You have to get away from those people. You can't let people keep using you and abusing you. Okay, Lara. So, honestly, everybody, on this Thrive Thursday, I hope anybody who needs to hear it, that you have enough courage to walk away from toxic people. And it's not easy. I can tell you that. I have people in my life that I care about very much, but they don't care about themselves. Yes, have a great day, Miss Patty. When I realize that they don't care about themselves, so I have to care about myself. You know? When you care about yourself, I love you, but I can't love you more than I love myself. You know, and that's what happens a lot. People will love another person before they love themselves. They'll be there for them and support somebody that doesn't even support them back. Make it make sense, everybody. It doesn't. And it will never make sense. But when you empower your mind and say, I don't deserve this, they don't treat me right, and you know it. You know the people who are using you and abusing you. Cut it off. Okay? Don't let them continue. I think that's important. You know, that's a part of self-love. It really is. And I want you, all of you gems, I want you all to thrive. I want you to be happy, have peace, and do all the things that you're supposed to do. But we can't do that if this is messed up. If you're mentally unstable, or you have a lot of emotional pain that you're dealing with. We are the ones that have to make a decision to heal that and give ourselves that permission to heal it. Okay? So, you know, everybody, I want you guys to be your best. I want you to be happy like you deserve to be. And you do. You deserve to be happy. And on this Thriving Thursday, I want you to think about something that maybe you need to get rid of. Maybe it's a person, it could be a habit, something that you're not doing for yourself, so that we can thrive, so we can be happy. Take care of yourself physically, take care of yourself financially. You know, make sure you're handling your business and not letting other people use you and abuse you, take advantage of you, because those people don't care about you at the end of the day. They just say it, but really, what is the proof? Okay? And it is what it is. People are going to be mad when now they can't use you. They will be mad, but it'll be okay. They'll be all right. You just leave them alone. Just leave them alone and go on with your life. Make a plan about what you want to do and then go for it. Okay? Thank you, everybody, for tuning into today's podcast for this Thriving Thursday. Keep on thriving, gems. Do your best and be your best. And before I go, I want to say thank you so much to all of my awesome mods, Ruthie's, This and That, and family, Patty's Kitchen, Garden, and more. Real Odds and Evens. Who else did I have in here? Let's see. This with Frugal Mama. And I know that I had Misty in here, and anybody else here in the replay. Thank you all so much for your support. I want you to feel your best and be your best. I'm Life with Marlene, your Florida vlogger. I